Hey guys, John here, blind man walking. I have Luca on my lap, and today I'm going to walk you guys through, to the best of my memory, uh, our day when little Luca joined the world. So this is kind of a story time video, I guess. I don't do a lot of story time stuff, but a lot of things are going to change on my channel now because of our new arrival. And one of those things that are going to change is there's going to be a lot more baby content that I post. So Luca was born via C-section. It was a planned C-section, which for us in a way was good because we knew the date. There was no, well, unless he came early, we knew the date. We were able to prepare. We have 3 dogs to consider as well. I'm blind, so typically what often happens is labor can hit at any time of day. A lot of the time it's inconvenient. It's at an inconvenient time. So for us, having a plan in place just felt like the right thing to do. So we made the decision to do that. So the night before the due day, the hospital calls and they just tell you what to expect the day of, a little bit about they tell you a little bit about what time to be there, and you can't have anything to eat after midnight, and you have to stop drinking anything, including water, at like 6:30 in the morning. So we were scheduled to be there for 8. So after 6:30 in the morning, no liquid at all. So they also told us to call in the morning at 7, just to make sure that there were no emergencies that had come in, so that they could tell us if we were going to be like on time, if the surgery was on time, or if we were going to be delayed because of an unforeseen emergency. So we did that. We called the day of at 7, and they told us to come right in. All is good. And of course, as soon as we get there, an emergency shows up as well. So we were pushed back. So 8 o'clock, we were in triage. So Colleen had she changed into a hospital gown, and they took vitals and gave her some medication. They gave her some medication. Yeah, so I'm going off my memory as best I can here, guys. So they didn't hook her up to a drip on IV right away. So we were able to just hang out and relax. And like, the unfortunate thing is, so there's a bunch of rooms in this triage area of the clinic and of the hospital, and so you can hear what's going on next door. Like, the walls aren't super thick, so this poor lady was contracting and vomiting, and that's like, I have never been around women who are in labor or close to labor, so that was an ear-opening experience for me, for sure. So eventually, some of the surgical team that was going to be working on Colleen, they came in, introduced themselves, and just walked through what to expect, which was really nice. We got to meet. So there was a resident and a med student came in. So we got to chat with them for a little bit. Eventually, Colleen, they did give her a drip, so an IV, just to keep her hydrated. I can't remember what that medication was for. I'm trying to remember what it was for. I do not remember. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. Anyway, so eventually they took us down to recovery, which is the pre-op area. So the anesthesiologist came in and talked about what to expect from an anesthesiology, I can't say that word, perspective. And again, there was just a waiting game. A lady was brought in who had just had a C-section, so she got to hang out in recovery with her little girl. That was pretty cool for me, again, because I've never been around. This is totally new totally new for me. So I got to hear a little newborn baby girl like making noise, and for me, totally blind, like that's pretty cool. Anyway, it gets to our turn. So in this recovery room, I changed into scrubs and well, scrub tops, scrub bottoms. I had a hat as well and little boots that go over your feet. So I'm allowed in the operating room at a certain point of the procedure. So I obviously need to be sterile. So that's why I wear the scrubs. So they bring us down to the OR, and there's a stool, so operating room. So and there's a stool outside the door where dads sit and wait. This wait is the longest wait of your life if you're a dad sitting on that stool. So they don't want you in the operating room right away because it's not that big of a space, and there's a lot of people in there doing a lot of things and getting set up and explaining procedures to Colleen. And it's better if the dad's just not there. So Colleen goes in ahead of me, and they hook her up to a heart monitor, and I can hear the heart monitor beeping, which is pretty cool. I can hear that. They give her an epidural, a spinal epidural, so the lower back. They insert a catheter as well, so if she needs to go pee, it's not an issue. And yeah, they just prepare for surgery. So with surgery, for those of you who don't know, everyone who's involved in the surgery isn't in the room at once. People come in and leave when their turn comes to participate. It just, again, it's a way of making sure the operating room is not overcrowded, right? It's loud enough in there with the machines beeping and people talking, like doctors are talking to each other and asking the nurses for specific instruments, and the less people in there, it's just organized chaos, and it's just better with only the people that need to be in there at a certain time. So while I was waiting outside, people would come in and out. The anesthesiologist came in and out. I think a pain doctor too. So after Colleen was given the epidural, they do a test on her to make sure it's working. So they ask her if she can feel pain. So I think they try to stimulate pain. I don't know how they do that, and the correct answer is nope, I can't feel pain. So you do feel pressure though. That's something that the resident talked to us about in triage. You don't feel pain when you're numbed up, but you do feel pressure, and there's nothing they can do about that. That's just normal, because when they open you up, they have to move around some internal items in your body. So your stomach and your bowel kind of have to get moved to the side so they can get to your uterus. So they warned us about that. So I looked up the step-by-step C-section procedure after the fact because I was curious to know the process. So there are 7 layers between air and your baby. They are, as far as I can remember, the skin, the fat, the rectus sheath and the rectus, which are your like abdominal muscle, the parietal peritoneum, I think I'm saying that right, which is, and the loose peritoneum, which basically are tissues that protect your inner organs, and then the uterus. So I think they bring in the partner after the first incision is made. They bring the partner in pretty much before the baby is like ready to come out. So I waited there for, I don't know, it felt like days, but it was probably 20 minutes. And they brought me in. I got to sit at the head of the table, the operating table. So I got to hold Colleen's hand and squeeze her hand and like, ask her how she was doing. And so they put up a screen from right below Colleen's sternum up to like up high, up in the air, so she can't see what's going on, which is great because they're opening you up, right? It's not something pleasurable to look at, I'm sure. So From my perspective as a blind person, like, it was just so surreal to sit there holding Colleen's hand while the doctors brought my baby into the world, and like I could hear the operating procedure. I could hear the suction as they were like suctioning amniotic fluid out of Colleen. I could hear things like the doctors asking each other for instruments, and here, you pull this way, I'll pull that way, as they were like exposing the uterus. And then at one point in the surgery, you hear this, baby's coming, which tells everybody in the room that the baby's coming. So when the baby is being extracted, a lot of pressure is put on the top of the uterus to push the baby down towards the incision, which can put a lot of pressure on the mother's chest. And they warned us of this. And so the anesthesiologist was right there with Colleen and myself at the head of the table, telling Colleen to breathe, nice deep breaths, baby's coming. And like her heart rate went up a lot during this time. And I was kind of nervous because, yeah, her heart rate just like took off. And so there was a lady doctor and a man doctor that were the two like main participants operating, and I could hear him asking her if she needed him to apply more pressure, and she said, nope, I almost have him. Oh, there's his arm. And then he was like screeching at the top of his lungs before he was fully out. And he was born 3:14. In the afternoon he was born, and when I first heard him cry, I just lost my mind. Like I just broke down. Lots of tears, lots of, oh my God, Colleen, great job. You know, you. Jeez. Anyway, yeah. Just any dad, any mom too, just overwhelmed. Just hearing that first, like everybody wants to hear that first cry. Just. Yeah, it's pretty unreal. So they take him away just to clean him up a little bit and do an APGAR test. So APGAR is a medical acronym for appearance, pulse. The G, I don't know what the medical term is, but it refers to their reflexes. A, again, I don't know what the medical term is, but it relates to muscle tone. And then the R is respiration. So his respiration rate was a little low. His heart rate was a little bit low. So they did observe him for a little bit before we got to like spend a lot of time with him. However, before they took him away for his observation, we did get to like actually meet our baby. So I literally took my mask. Like I had to wear a mask. I took my mask like because of COVID and just sterile. So I took my mask down a little bit and give his nose right here a little kiss right on the end of his little nose. And actually the anesthesiologist, he tapped me on the shoulder after and he said, nice job. Like I think he was referring to the fact that I was able to kiss my son. Yeah, so it seems like a long time ago, but it's a week today that he was born. Apparently he has my ears. And he has Colleen's mouth. We don't know whose nose he has. He definitely has my hair. I have messy hair, and he came out with a mohawk. So, he's just beautiful. He's very affectionate, very cuddly. And yeah, he's just holding my hand. Like, he squeezed my hand like the day after he was born, which is like I didn't know they were able to even like clench their fingers so early. But yeah, he definitely did that. Hey, mister. So he has little dainty fingers. Beautiful little head. So yeah, this past week we brought him home. It's just adjusting to baby. You know, they for anyone who is unaware of the energy and effort that it takes to look after a newborn, I'm here to tell you, it's intense. You know, they need 24-hour care. Colin and I live in a small place, so we typically both get up with him every couple of hours, or one of us will get up and the other one will just lie in bed. But we are always awake at the same time because there's just not our place isn't very big. So for me as a blind dad, a lot of practice for me when it comes to baby care, changing diapers, feeding, burping, all that fun stuff. I'm not super good at it yet. There's not a lot of resources out there for new blind parents. I've learned a lot just for my own, just researching on my own online, typically on YouTube. But like anything, practice makes perfect, and I'm definitely way more competent than I was a couple of days ago, for sure. And he's a very squirmy baby. He just loves to. He's always in motion, and he definitely gets that from Colleen. He never likes to sit still for long, so he definitely gets that from her because I like to be lazy when I have the time to be. Yeah, so I'm gonna be about babies. There's not a lot of resources for blind parents out there when it comes to how to do stuff with and for their kids, and I am determined to do my part. And if anything, the videos that I make will be cool to show him like down the road, so he can see how small he was and how cute he is and was when he was a little baby. He's wearing a dinosaur outfit right now, and I just have a blanket over him too. So babies love to be swaddled. So when you swaddle a baby, it basically means you wrap them up really tight. So it kind of mimics being in the womb where it's nice and warm and they don't have a lot of range of motion, so they can't really move around a lot. We really noticed, so the first night we brought him home, we didn't really swaddle him properly, and he was up pretty much all night. But once we fixed that, he's been a little gem ever since. So babies love to be swaddled, so it's something to keep in mind. I'll make a video showing how I do that. I'm gonna be linking a bunch of videos, baby stuff. I have a playlist, a blind parenting playlist that I'm gonna start, and anything blind parent related will be in there for anyone who's interested. And yes, that's all we got for you guys today. So, oh, he has Colleen's chin too. She has a very pointy chin. Hi, do. He right here, little pointy chin right here. So he definitely has her little chin. Alright guys, thanks for watching. You're gonna hold my hand? You are. And Luca and I will see you in the next one, won't we? Yeah.